Yeah, so my name's James, I'm 21 and I'm the president of hockey.
The YouGov poll from September 2025 showed that only 1% of adults in the UK played hockey in the last 12 months. Do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah, so I'm not surprised by that poll. I think, hockey's not the most popular sport in the UK, and I think this year our numbers have actually slightly decreased a little bit. I wish there was more we could do, more the government would do to kind of increase the number of players playing hockey, but I can kind of see why that stat would be true, yeah.
Why do you think this trend might be?
I think just sometimes people find it, a scary sport to play. There's not much protection. There's a hard ball coming at you, 100 miles an hour, and it's not as accessible. Sticks aren't cheap. You need lots of other people to play it with. So I can kind of see why less people are playing it. You need a specific astro to play on it rather than just. You can play on grass, but it's not quite as fun. So there are some kind of barriers to entry, really. Yeah.
Is the society doing anything to combat this?
I think they are. I think especially now, a lot of university societies are quite present on social media. I'm seeing a lot more, people reaching out that way, which I think kind of gains more popularity for the sport. People kind of notice it and they go, oh, that's quite interesting. So I think from that point of view, they really are, yeah.
Do you think it needs to change for hockey to become more popular?
I think there needs to be just cheaper equipment, I think, to start with. Sticks on their own, the good ones are up to the £80-100. You don't really want to start with a cheap one. There needs to just be more smaller leagues, lesser fees for clubs. I think will make it a lot easier. And then just other positions, goalie kit can cost you up to like £2,000-3,000. If the government can maybe subsidise some of that equipment, kit, pitch hire, then maybe it will just be more accessible to everyone to play hockey.
When freshers join, do they play already or are they novices?
So it kind of depends. I mean, we kind of split ourselves almost into, we have a couple of competitive teams and then a couple of mixed teams, so social teams. So if they've played before, they'll quite often fit into one of the competitive teams quite nicely. If not, then they go into one of our social teams where they have all sorts of abilities, people that have never picked up a stick before. So it just kind of, it depends, but if either is the case, there's a team for them, no matter how much experience they have.
Do you think university societies are doing anything to change how popular hockey is?
Yes, I think at the university, it kind of, obviously everyone's here for about 3 or 4 years, so it's very much, it's hard to build stuff, it's more like on a rolling basis. So I'm hoping over the next couple of years, if the university gets some good fresher intakes, we can kind of boost our numbers. And then kind of hockey as a whole, I think with the new social media presence, I'm kind of hoping that will bring more people and just kind of more money into the sport, because that just helps to boost it. And I'm hoping kind of all of that combined can help create the sport into more than what it is already.